My dear child, I want you to stop for just a moment. Stop whatever you are doing, wherever you are, whatever weight you are carrying in your chest right now, whatever thought has been circling in your mind since the moment you opened your eyes this morning. Stop and listen, not with the ears on the sides of your head, but with the deeper place inside you. That quiet space beneath all the noise, beneath all the worry, beneath all the questions you have been asking yourself when the night grows long and the silence feels too heavy to bear alone. Listen with that place, because what I am about to say to you is not a general message for the world. It is not a broadcast into empty air. It is not words spoken to a crowd of nameless faces. It is for you. Specifically, personally, completely for you. I know your name. I know the sound of your heartbeat. I know the exact shade of sadness that colors your evenings right now, and I know the tiny flicker of hope that you are not yet sure whether to trust. I know all of it, and I have something to tell you. Time is moving. You feel it, don't you? You feel how the days slide past like water through open fingers, and no matter how tightly you press your hands together, you cannot hold them. You feel how weeks that once felt infinite now seem to compress into something small and quick, and you find yourself standing at another evening wondering where the light went. You are not imagining this. Time is real, and its movement is real. And the passing of each moment is something I designed with intention, not to exhaust you, not to make you feel as though you are always running late, always behind, always missing something that has already gone past. No, I designed the movement of time to carry you forward. Every morning that arrives is not a reminder of what you have not yet done. It is a gift. It is my hand extended toward you again, an open palm, an invitation, a fresh beginning dressed up as an ordinary day. I need you to hear this because I see how you have been treating the ordinary days. I see how you wake up and immediately reach for the list of everything that is wrong, everything that is unfinished, everything that is uncertain. I see how you scroll through the evidence of other people's lives and measure yourself against pictures that were carefully chosen and carefully filtered and carefully arranged to look like something your own life is not. I see how you lie awake at night rehearsing conversations that already happened or conversations that might happen, replaying them, rewriting them, trying to find the version where everything turns out differently. I see you doing this, and my heart moves toward you with something that is much larger and much softer than you might expect from the one who made the stars. I am not standing at a distance from you, watching with arms crossed and an expression of quiet disappointment. That is not who I am. That image of me that some people carry around, the distant judge, the cosmic scorekeeper, the one who is waiting to catch you in your weaknesses. That is not me. I want you to let that image fall away right now. Let it go. Because the truth of who I am is something far more tender, far more present, far more personally concerned with every detail of your life than any version of me that keeps count of failures. I am the one who knew you before you knew yourself, before your first breath, before your first cry, before the first time anyone ever looked at your face and called you by a name. I already knew you completely. I knew the particular way your mind would work, the specific things that would make you come alive with wonder, the precise vulnerabilities that would make you ache in ways you would struggle to explain to anyone else. I knew your capacity for love and your capacity for fear, and the complicated way those two things would sometimes get tangled up inside you. I knew all of this, and I chose to bring you into existence anyway, not despite all of it, but because of all of it. Because every single part of you, including the parts you are most ashamed of, including the parts you work hardest to hide, including the parts that feel most broken and most beyond repair, Every single part of you is something I looked at and said, yes, this one. This is the one I am creating. You were not an accident. You were not a mistake. You were not a second thought, or a rough draft, or a lesser version of what I originally intended. You are exactly who I meant to make, placed exactly where I meant to place you, in this specific time, in this specific life, with these specific people around you and these specific challenges in front of you. None of that is random. None of it is beyond my awareness or outside my care. All of it, even the parts that feel most chaotic and most senseless and most unbearably hard, all of it is held within something larger than you can currently see. And I know that is difficult to trust right now. I know because I see what you are going through. I see the uncertainty that has settled over your life like a fog that won't lift. The kind of uncertainty where you cannot quite see where you are going or whether the ground beneath your feet is stable. I see the relationships that have cracked or gone silent or transformed into something painful that you didn't choose and didn't want. I see the dreams that have not yet arrived, the ones you have been holding on to for so long that your hands have grown tired and you are starting to wonder whether you should let them go. I see the physical exhaustion that is more than just needing sleep, the kind of tiredness that lives in your bones and in your spirit, and that no amount of rest seems to fully touch. I see all of it. And I want to say something to you about all of it. I want to say that none of it is beyond me. Not one single piece of what you are carrying right now is too heavy for me, too complicated for me, too far gone for me, too broken for me to work with. I have never once encountered a situation in a human life and thought, well, there is nothing I can do here. That has never happened. It will never happen. Certainly not with you. The difficulty you are in right now is real. I am not asking you to pretend it isn't. I am not offering you some kind of spiritual bypass where you smile and say everything is fine and the pain is just an illusion. The pain is real. The confusion is real. The grief, if you are carrying grief, is real. The fear, if fear has been your companion lately, is real. I am not dismissing any of it, but I am telling you that real does not mean permanent. Real does not mean final. Real does not mean that this is how the story ends. I am in the business of turning things around. I always have been. It is, you might say, something I do. When things look finished, I am often just getting started. When the evidence suggests that something is over and done, and there is no way through, that is often precisely the moment when I move. Not because I enjoy waiting until the last moment to add drama to the situation, but because I am working with materials you cannot see yet, assembling things in the unseen places, preparing a path through terrain that from where you are standing looks impassable. You cannot always see what I am doing. That is not a sign that I am absent. That is simply the nature of the work I do, which is always larger than what is visible. Think about water. Think about how water moves. Water does not force itself through obstacles. It does not batter itself against stone walls until it exhausts itself into stillness. Water finds its way. It slips through the smallest opening. It works its patient way around what cannot be moved. It gradually, persistently, faithfully makes its path toward where it is going. And where water goes, life follows. I want you to think of my love working in your life like that. Not forcing, not crashing violently against your circumstances and demanding immediate dramatic transformation, but present, persistent, finding its way through every small opening, working patiently in every quiet moment, moving you gently but surely toward where you need to go. But here is something I want to ask you to do. I want to ask you to talk to me. I know this sounds simple. I know that for some of you, the idea of talking to me feels awkward or uncertain, or maybe even a little embarrassing, like you are not sure if anyone is actually listening, like you are not sure you are doing it right, like you are not sure you deserve to have a conversation with the one who made everything. But I want to dismantle all of those hesitations right now, because every single one of them is based on something that is not true. You do not have to earn access to my presence. You do not have to clean yourself up first, resolve your doubts first, achieve a certain level of spiritual maturity first, stop making the same mistakes first. You do not have to have your theology perfectly sorted out, or your prayer technique perfected, or your faith at some impressive level before you can simply talk to me. You can come exactly as you are right now, in whatever state you are in, with whatever mess is currently your life, and speak. I am listening. I am always listening. The line between your heart and mine is always open. There is no busy signal. There is no waiting room. There is no version of you that arrives at the door of my presence and finds it closed. When you talk to me, you don't have to be eloquent. You don't have to use any particular words or follow any particular format. You don't have to make it sound beautiful or profound or worthy of the one you're speaking to. Some of the conversations I treasure most from people I love are the ones that are just raw and honest and stumbling. The ones where someone just says, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't understand what's happening. I'm scared, and I'm tired, and I need help. That kind of honest, unpolished, simply human conversation is something I receive with more tenderness than I can describe to you. Because what I want from you is not performance. I don't need you to perform faith or perform gratitude or perform certainty you don't actually feel. What I want is you, the actual you, not the version you present to the world, not the version you think I want to see, but the real you, with all your questions and doubts and fears and longings and frustrations and hopes. Bring that person to me. That is the person I love. That is the person I am in relationship with. And when you do come to me, you will find something that perhaps surprises you. You will find that I already know everything you're about to say. And yet you will also find that I am genuinely leaning in to hear you say it. Because there is something that happens when you speak your truth out loud to me. Something that does not happen when you simply carry it silently inside yourself. When you bring your pain into the light of our conversation, it begins to transform. Not always instantly. Not always in ways you can track neatly. But there is something about the act of honesty, the act of bringing what is hidden into the open, that begins a process of healing that would not otherwise begin. I want to tell you about your weakness. I know that for many of you, your weakness is one of the things you are most ashamed of. You live in a world that rewards strength and performance and competence and having it all together, and so your weakness feels like a liability, like something to hide, like evidence against you. But I want to offer you a completely different way of seeing this. Your weakness is not an obstacle to our relationship. Your weakness is not something I'm waiting for you to overcome before I can truly use you, or truly love you, or truly be at work in your life. Your weakness is actually one of the primary places where my strength becomes visible. Not in spite of your weakness. Through it. When you are at your strongest, most self-sufficient, most capable, and confident and in control, the temptation is to live as though you don't really need me, as though you have this, as though you can handle it. And in those seasons, even if you believe in me, even if you would say you love me, the practical reality of your daily life can drift into something that doesn't really include me very much. But when you are at your most broken, your most helpless, you're most aware of your own insufficiency and limitation, that is when you reach for me with something real. That is when the reaching is genuine. That is when the dependency that I have always wanted to be the true shape of our relationship becomes actual rather than theoretical. So I want you to stop treating your weakness as something that disqualifies you from my presence. Your weakness is an invitation into it. And here is what you will discover when you stop fighting your weakness and instead bring it to me honestly. You will discover that something begins to arise in the space where your strength used to be that is far more reliable than anything you could generate on your own. You will discover a kind of steadiness that doesn't depend on your circumstances being good. You will discover a kind of peace that doesn't require the situation to be resolved. You will discover a kind of hope that is not fragile because it is not based on your ability to keep everything together. These things come from me, and they come most freely and most fully into lives that have stopped trying to fill those spaces with self-sufficiency and have opened up instead to receive what I want to give. I need to speak to you about loneliness, because I see it in so many of you who are receiving this right now. Loneliness is one of the most painful things a human being can experience, and it is also one of the most misunderstood. People often think loneliness is about being alone, about the absence of other people. But you know better than that, don't you? You know that it is possible to be surrounded by people and still feel profoundly alone. You know that it is possible to have a full calendar, a full house, a full social life, and still lay your head on your pillow at night with a hollow, aching feeling that no amount of company has touched. That kind of loneliness is not about the number of people around you. It is about whether you feel truly known, truly seen, truly understood, truly connected to something beyond the surface of things. And I want to tell you something about that. That hunger you feel for deep connection, that ache for someone who truly knows you and stays anyway, that longing for something that holds when everything else shakes, that is a hunger I placed inside you, not to torture you, not to give you a need that can never be met, but because I knew that when everything else failed to fill it, when you had tried every human remedy and still found that hollow space inside you untouched, you would turn toward the only one who can actually fill it, which is me. I know you completely, not the version of you that you let people see. Not the curated, presented, carefully managed version of yourself. The actual you. The you that exists in your most private moments when there is no one watching and no performance required. That person. The full, complicated, contradictory, beautiful, struggling, hoping, failing, reaching, doubting, loving, fearing actual you. That is the person I know. That is the person I have always known. And I am telling you right now, that person is not too much for me. That person is not too broken for me. That person is not beyond my love or outside my care or past my reach. You are not alone. I know it sometimes feels that way. I know there are days when you call out into what feels like empty air and hear nothing back, and the silence feels like confirmation of your worst fear, which is that no one is there, that you are fundamentally on your own in a universe that does not notice or care. But that feeling, as real as it is not the truth. The truth is that I am here, and I have always been here. And there has never been a single moment of your life, not even your worst moment, not even the moment you would most like to hide from, when you were truly alone. I was there. I am here. I will be there in every moment that is still ahead of you. Let me tell you something about the difficult chapter you have been living. Whatever it is that has brought you to this moment, whatever set of circumstances has led you to be receiving these words right now, there is meaning in it. Not meaning that you will necessarily understand immediately, or perhaps even for a long time, but meaning nonetheless. I do not waste anything. I do not allow your pain to be merely pain. your loss to be merely loss, your confusion to be merely confusion. I am always at work in the material of your life, taking even the things that feel most broken, most wasted, most irredeemably wrong, and working them into something that will ultimately serve a purpose larger than you could currently imagine. This is not a comfortable thing to hear when you are in the middle of the hard chapter. When you are in the middle of it, what you want is for it to end. You want relief. You want the situation to change. You want the pain to stop. And I hear that. I am not dismissing the validity of that desire. But I also want you to know that while I am working on the resolution, I am also working on you. The you who will emerge on the other side of this will not be the same as the you who went in. And that is not a threat. That is a promise. Because the transformation that happens in the hard seasons, when you hold on, when you don't give up, when you keep coming back to me even when you can barely find the words, that transformation is some of the most significant, most durable, most irreplaceable growth that happens in a human life. There is something I have been wanting you to understand for a very long time, and I am going to say it as directly as I know how. Every single day of your life has deep meaning, not just the significant days. Not just the days when something important happens, or you make progress towards something important or something in your life visibly changes. Every day, including the days that feel most ordinary, most repetitive, most mundane. Including today. The fact that you are alive today, breathing today, present in the world today, that is something I intended. This is not an accident of biology. This is not a random continuation of a chain of events that doesn't know you by name. Today is a day I gave you. Today is a day I want to be part of, want to walk through with you, want to show myself in through whatever combination of moments and people and circumstances and quiet inner encounters it contains. So I am asking you to pay attention differently. I am asking you to slow down, just a little, and look for me in the texture of today. Look for me in the unexpected kindness of a stranger. Look for me in the moment of beauty you almost walked past. Look for me in the conversation that turned out to matter more than you expected. Look for me in the quiet that descends in the middle of an ordinary afternoon, that brief, inexplicable sense of something larger and more peaceful than the surface of your day. Those moments are not accidents. They are my signature. They are me saying, here I am, right here, in this ordinary moment that you almost missed. Here. Now I want to address something that I know many of you are struggling with, and that is the gap between where you are and where you hoped you would be by now. The gap between the life you imagined and the life you are actually living. Some of you are carrying a weight of disappointment that has been accumulating for years. Dreams that didn't come through. Relationships that ended in ways you never anticipated. Seasons of life that were supposed to be joyful that turned out to be among the hardest things you ever faced. Versions of yourself that you hoped you would become by now that still feel distant and unclear. And along with all of that, there is sometimes a quiet, haunting question that you don't quite let yourself ask too directly, which is whether I have forgotten you, whether you somehow fell through the cracks, whether the good things that seem to happen for other people are just not in the plan for you. I want to answer that question directly. No, you have not been forgotten. You did not fall through the cracks. There are no cracks in my attention through which anyone could fall. You are as fully and completely on my mind and in my heart right now as you were on the day I first breathed life into your existence. The waiting you have been in, however long it has been, however exhausting it has been, is not evidence of my indifference. It is not punishment. It is not confirmation that you are somehow less loved or less cared for or less important than the people around you whose lives seem to be going more smoothly. It is simply the shape that my faithfulness is taking in your particular story at this particular moment. And I know that is hard. I know that when you have been waiting for a long time, the waiting itself becomes a kind of suffering. It is not just the absence of the thing you are waiting for. It is the wondering, the second guessing, the back and forth between hope and surrender that characterizes a long season of waiting. And it is exhausting. And I see that exhaustion in you, and my response to it is not impatience or frustration with you for being tired. My response is compassion. Real, deep, personal compassion. The kind that does not look at you from a distance and say, "You should be further along by now. You should be stronger. You should trust me more." The kind that comes close and says, "I see you. I see how long you have been carrying this. I see what it has cost you. And I am here, right here, with you, in the middle of the waiting, not just waiting with you for it to end, but actively, continuously at work in it." Let me tell you about something new, because even as I speak to you about the difficulty you are in, I also want to speak to you about what is coming. Not because I want to give you vague consolation that papers over the reality of what you are currently experiencing, but because I genuinely have something new in motion for you. Something that is not yet visible. Something that has not yet arrived at the surface of your life. But something that is real, that is already being prepared, that is already in process in the unseen places where I do my work. I am doing a new thing. I know that phrase might feel familiar, might even feel like something you have heard so many times that it has lost its weight. But I want you to receive it fresh. I am doing a new thing in your life. Not the same old situation with slightly better circumstances. Not a minor adjustment to the story you have already been living. Something genuinely new. A new level of connection. A new opportunity. A new understanding of yourself and of me and of what your life is for. A new chapter that will make some of what you have been through make sense in a way it couldn't make sense while you were still inside it. The path through the wilderness. And I know some of you have been in the wilderness for what feels like a very long time. The path through the wilderness does not simply disappear because the wilderness is difficult. The path is there. I am making a way. Not a path around the difficulty, though sometimes that is what I do. More often a path through it. A way of moving forward that is lit by my presence, sustained by my strength, guided by my voice. Even when the terrain is hard, and the visibility is low, and you cannot see very far ahead. The path is there. Keep walking. I want to speak now to the person who is reading this and carrying something they have never told anyone. Something that has been sealed up inside them, maybe for years, maybe for their entire life. Something they are convinced is too dark or too shameful or too complicated for anyone to truly know about them and still love them. Something they have protected themselves by hiding. I want to speak directly to that person because I know you are there. Here is what I need you to know. I already know it. Whatever you are carrying, whatever you have done, or whatever has been done to you, whatever you are most afraid of someone finding out, I already know it completely. Every detail, every layer, every complication. And I am not horrified. I am not withdrawing. I am not looking at you with diminished love or increased judgment. I am here, fully present, fully knowing, fully in possession of every truth about you, and my posture toward you has not changed. I am still leaning toward you. I am still for you. I am still committed to you. That is not a general statement about some abstract version of love. That is a specific statement about you, the actual you, right now, in this moment, with everything I know. This is what grace means. Not that your actions don't matter. Not that the harm that has been done, whether by you or to you, is without consequence. But that your access to me is not dependent on your record. That my love for you is not contingent on what you have done or not done. That no matter how far you feel from where you think you should be, the distance between you and me is always crossable. Always. By you. By whatever stumbling, uncertain, unimpressive movement toward me you are capable of making in this moment. And I promise you this. If you turn toward me, even slightly, even tentatively, even without certainty, I will meet you. I will come the rest of the way. I always do. This is how I am. This is not something I say on good days and withhold on difficult ones. This is not a policy that has conditions written into the fine print. This is the irreducible truth of who I am in relation to you. I come toward the one who turns toward me. Always. No exceptions. Including you. Especially you. There is a burden you have been carrying that was not meant to be yours. I want to ask you to give it to me. I know that might sound simple, too simple for something that has been this heavy for this long. But I want to ask you to try, not to manufacture a feeling of release or a feeling of peace, or any particular feeling at all, but to make a genuine act of the will, a choice, an intention, to lay this particular weight down and say to me, I cannot carry this anymore, and I believe you can carry it better than I can. So here it is. That is not weakness. That is one of the wisest things a human being can do. I was never meant to watch you stagger under a weight that I could carry for you. I was meant to be the one who carries it. Let me. I want to close by telling you something about who you are, because I think you may have forgotten, or perhaps you never quite believed it in the first place. You are someone I love extravagantly. Not moderately. Not in a measured, careful, proportional way that reflects your performance and adjusts up and down based on how well you are doing. Extravagantly. Wastefully, some might even say. The way I love you makes no logical sense by human accounting. It is not calibrated to what you deserve. It is not rationed out based on merit. It is simply poured out, freely, constantly, completely, over your entire life, over every moment of it, including this one. You matter to me. Your life matters to me. The outcome of your story matters to me. The details of your daily experience, what you feel when you wake up in the morning, whether you are at peace or in turmoil, whether you feel seen or invisible, whether you have joy or whether you are struggling to remember what joy felt like, all of this matters to me personally and specifically. Not as a category of human being, not as one among billions of undifferentiated people I generally wish well. As you, as the individual, irreplaceable, particular, beloved you. And because you matter to me, I am not giving up on you. I am not stepping back and waiting to see what happens. I am not watching from a distance with a clipboard, noting whether you make it or don't. I am actively, continuously, passionately involved in your life, working in the seen moments and the unseen ones, in the answers you recognize, and the ones that come in forms you haven't learned to recognize yet, in the people I bring across your path and the doors I open and the ones I close, in the scripture that suddenly lands differently than it did the last 20 times you read it, in the unexpected moment of clarity that comes in the middle of an ordinary task, in the dream that leaves something lingering when you wake, in the song that finds you at the exact right moment, in the kindness that meets you when you least expected it and needed it most. All of these things are me. All of these are my voice, speaking in the language of your life, saying what I am saying to you right now in these words. I am here. I love you. I have not forgotten you. The best is not behind you. I am still writing your story, and some of the most significant chapters are still ahead. Trust me. Come to me. Let me carry what is too heavy for you. Let me show you who you actually are. Let me lead you through the places that have felt impossible. Let me be for you what I have always been and will always be. Enough, more than enough. Everything you actually need, present and ready and offered to you, freely, now and in every moment that follows. You are not too far gone. You are not too broken. You are not too late. You are not too much, and you are not too little. You are exactly who I made, in exactly the right time, and I am with you, and I am for you, and I am not finished with you yet. Not even close. Come to me, my child. I am right here. I have always been right here, and I will always be here. This is my word to you, and it will not return to me empty. It will accomplish what I intend it to accomplish in you. And what I intend is good. For you. Specifically. Personally. Now and always. Do not be afraid. The one who calls the stars by name also calls you by name. The one who set the boundaries of the oceans also set the boundaries of what can harm you. The one who breathed life into everything that exists also breathes life into your dreams, your hopes, your future, the things that feel most dead inside you right now. I am the God who makes dead things live. I am the God who opens roads in the wilderness and rivers in the desert. I am the God who takes what was lost and restores it, who takes what was broken and makes it whole, who takes what was ended and begins it again. Nothing is beyond me. Nothing in your life is beyond me. Not one single thing. So take a breath. Right now, wherever you are, just take one slow breath. And in that breath, know this: I am with you. In the breathing in and the breathing out. In the moment of quiet that the breath creates. In the brief pause between the exhale and the next inhale where everything is momentarily still. I am there. I am here. I am everywhere you are and everywhere you are going. And I love you. Not as a theological statement. Not as a doctrine. As a living, active, personal, present reality. I love you. My dear, dear child, I love you. Whatever comes next in your life, whatever the next chapter holds, whatever the next season brings, you will not face it alone. You have never faced anything alone. You will never face anything alone. That is my promise to you, sealed in something older and more durable than anything in the created world. I will be with you. Always. To the very end. And then beyond the end. Into something so good that your current imagination cannot hold it. Keep going. I am with you. And that is enough. That is more than enough. That is everything. There is something else I want to say to you. Something that I find myself returning to again and again when I look at your life. When I see the particular way you move through the world. When I watch how you care for the people around you. Even when you yourself are depleted. Even when you yourself are running on empty. Even when no one is giving you back what you are giving out. I see that about you. I see your generosity. I see your capacity for love. I see the way you show up for people even when showing up costs you something real. And I want you to know that I see it. I want you to know that it doesn't go unnoticed, not by me, not ever, even when it goes unnoticed by the people you are showing up for. But I also want to say this: you matter too. Not just in your service to others, not just in what you produce or provide or give. You, as a person, as a being with your own needs and your own longings and your own interior life, you matter. Your rest matters. Your joy matters. Your peace matters. Your flourishing matters. Not as a reward for performance, not as a prize you receive after you have given enough, but as something I want for you intrinsically, simply because you are you and I love you. I watch sometimes as you pour yourself out for everyone around you and neglect to come to me for refilling. I watch you run your tank down to empty and then wonder why you feel so hollow, so spiritually dry, so unable to feel what you once felt, so disconnected from the sense of my presence that used to feel more natural. And I want to tell you, this is not a permanent condition. This is not who you are now. This is simply what happens when the outflow exceeds the inflow for too long. The remedy is not complicated. The remedy is return. Come back to me. Sit with me. Not with an agenda. Not with a list of things you need or a list of things you feel guilty about or a list of performance reviews for your own spiritual life. Just come. Just be present with me the way you would be present with someone you trust, someone you don't have to perform for, someone in whose presence you can simply exhale and be exactly who you are. I am that person for you. I am the one you don't have to perform for. I am the one in whose presence you can lay down every mask, every carefully maintained image, every version of yourself that you maintain for the benefit of the watching world. With me, none of that is necessary. You can be entirely yourself, entirely unguarded, entirely honest, and entirely welcome. That is not a conditional welcome that depends on you managing to be appropriately spiritual. That is a welcome that extends to you exactly as you are, in whatever state you arrive. I want to speak to you about something that has been troubling you. Something specific that has been working at the edges of your thoughts, coming to the surface when you least want it to, interrupting your sleep, coloring your experience of days that should by rights have been enjoyable. You know what it is. I don't need to name it because you know. And I want to say to you directly about that specific thing, that particular concern, that private worry or fear or grief or question. I know about it. I see it. I am not unaware of it. It has not slipped past my attention. And it is not too much for me. It is not beyond the scope of my care or my ability to work in it and through it, and ultimately to bring something good out of it. I know that in the middle of whatever that thing is, it can feel like the defining feature of your life. Like it is what your life is about right now. Like everything else is just backdrop to this central difficult reality. And I understand why it feels that way. When something is painful enough and persistent enough, it does tend to fill the field of vision. But I want to offer you a slightly wider view, gently, without dismissing the reality of what you are experiencing. The view I want to offer you is this. This is not the whole story. This is a chapter. This is what is happening in this season. It is real, and it is significant, and I am taking it seriously. But it is not the final word on your life. It is not the last chapter of your story. And the one who is writing your story, who has always been writing it, who will write it to its conclusion, is not someone who runs out of ideas or runs out of grace or gives up on the narrative when it gets difficult. I am the author who stays with the story all the way to the end, and I know what the end of your story holds, and it is good. Now let me speak to your faith, because I know some of you have been struggling with faith itself, not just with difficult circumstances, but with the deeper question of whether any of this is real, whether I am real, whether the things you used to be certain of still hold, whether what you were taught or what you once experienced still stands up under the weight of everything you have been through. I know this crisis is real. I know that doubt can feel like betrayal, both a betrayal of me and a sign that you have somehow been betrayed by a faith that promised things it didn't deliver. And I want to meet you here, in this honest place of uncertainty, and say, your doubt does not frighten me. Your questions do not offend me. Your struggle to believe is not something I am judging you for. Faith that has never been tested is a fragile thing. Faith that has been pushed to its limits, that has been brought to the edge of breaking, that has had to look honestly at everything that doesn't make easy sense, and has chosen to hold on anyway, that is a different kind of thing entirely. That is not a lesser faith. It is often a deeper faith. Not more certain, perhaps, in the surface sense, but more rooted, more real, more honestly yours, rather than something you inherited without examination. And so even in your doubt, I want you to know, I am here. You can bring your doubts to me. You can bring your hardest questions to me. You can say, I don't know if I believe this anymore, and still come to me, and find that I am still there, still present, still patient, still loving, still inviting you into something real. The door between you and me is not a door that belief opens and doubt closes. It is always open. Your intellectual uncertainty does not lock it. Come in through the uncertainty if that is where you are. Come in through the doubt. Come in through the questions. Come in through whatever you have, because whatever you have is enough to bring you through that door, and what you find on the other side might be something that begins, slowly, to answer the questions you have been afraid to ask. Let me tell you what I see when I look at your future. I want to be careful here, because I am not in the business of giving you a specific blueprint, a detailed roadmap that tells you exactly what happens next, and exactly when and exactly how everything will resolve. I know that is often what people want. I know that uncertainty is painful, and that having a clear, detailed picture of what is coming would relieve a great deal of the anxiety that is part of living in the not yet. But that is not what I offer, and not because I am withholding something from you. It is because the kind of faith I am inviting you into is not a faith that requires certainty in order to function. It is a faith in me, in my goodness, in my presence, in my involvement, in my faithfulness, that can walk forward even without a detailed itinerary. What I can tell you about your future is this: I am in it. Already. I am already in every day that is ahead of you, already present in every moment you have not yet reached, already at work in the circumstances that are still forming, in the encounters that haven't happened yet, in the decisions you will face, and the changes that are coming, and the unexpected turns the story will take. I am already there, and because I am there, the future is not a place you are walking into blind. It is a place you are walking into with someone, and that someone is not a stranger, and is not indifferent, and is not working against you. That someone is me, and I am for you. I want to say one more thing about time, and then I want to return to what I said at the very beginning about this present moment. Time is the frame within which your life happens, and within that frame, there are seasons. There are seasons of harvest and seasons that feel more like fallow ground, when nothing seems to be growing, when the surface of your life looks bare, and the waiting feels unproductive. But fallow ground is not failed ground. Fallow ground is resting ground, ground that is being prepared for the next season of growth, ground whose apparent stillness is actually a kind of invisible, underground activity that will eventually break through into something new on the surface. If you are in a fallow season, I want you to resist the conclusion that nothing is happening. Something is happening. It is happening beneath the surface. It is happening in the places you cannot see. It is happening in you, in the slow work of formation that takes place in the quiet seasons more than in the active ones. Trust the process even when you cannot see the progress. And about this present moment. This moment, the one you are in right now, is one I gave you. I have already been through today. From my perspective, I have seen this day in its entirety, every moment of it, including this one. And I can tell you that this moment, the one where you are hearing my voice, the one where something is perhaps shifting slightly inside you, the one where maybe for the first time in a while you are remembering that you are not alone, this moment is not accidental. It did not happen by chance that you encountered these words today. It did not happen by chance that you stopped and listened. I arranged this. I arranged it because I wanted to speak to you. Because I wanted to reach you in a way that would actually land. Because I love you enough to find the particular language, the particular moment, the particular set of circumstances that would create an opening in your day for my voice. And here is what I want you to carry out of this moment into the rest of today. Not a set of things you have to do, or a list of ways you need to change, or a renewed feeling of guilt about all the ways you have been falling short. I don't want you to carry any of that. What I want you to carry is simply this: you are not alone. You are known. You are loved. I am here, and whatever comes next, we face it together. Not you trying to earn my help, not you performing sufficiently to deserve my presence, but together, as we have always been, as we are right now, as we will be through every moment of what is still ahead. Go forward in that knowledge. Let it change how you carry yourself through the rest of this day. Let it change the quality of your attention, the depth of your breath, the level of your anxiety. Not because I have fixed everything, not because all the hard things have suddenly been resolved, but because the truth of my presence with you is more powerful than the hardness of what you are going through. The light does not need the darkness to disappear before it can illuminate the room. The light simply needs to be present, and I am present. In your room, in your life, in this moment, right now. I love you, my child. That is the first thing, and the last thing, and the thing that contains everything else I have said. I love you, and that love is not going anywhere. It has no expiration date, no conditions, no limit that your worst day could reach and find the far edge of. It simply is, as I simply am, as you, my beloved, simply are, real and known and held and accompanied and never, ever alone. This is my word to you today, and it will be my word to you tomorrow, and it will be my word to you in every moment of every day that follows. Whether you hear it clearly or whether it comes through muffled by all the noise of ordinary life, the word is the same. The love is the same. I am the same. Yesterday, today, and forever. Constant and faithful and here. Saying to you what I have always said. What I will always say. I am with you. You are mine. And I am yours. And that changes everything.